All right, you got some news?
Let's do it. Yeah, well, speaking of Minnesota, this has been making the rounds. A new video of the killing of Alex Preddy shows the interaction between him and a swarm of DHS officers from start to finish, and it batters the credibility of Trump officials who came out of the gate swinging, calling Preddy a domestic terrorist. The video shows Preddy directing traffic before it appears he is asked to move out of the street, which he does. As he walks towards the sidewalk, a DHS officer pushes a woman to the ground. Preddy moves towards her. Officers then pepper spray both Preddy and the woman and drag Preddy to the ground. Preddy's family, after the incident, released a statement in the aftermath of the shooting, blasting the Trump administration. The statement reads, in part, the sickening lies told about our son by the administration are reprehensible and disgusting.
All right, so I never thought I would have to say this, but white people don't wrestle with cops. I used to tell my black listenership not to wrestle with cops. Whitey, you're going to get shot too. This is a much worse shooting, I think, than the good minivan thing. This is worse, although he had a gun and Good didn't have a gun. This one is worse. And he didn't really wrestle with cops. What I'm saying is don't insert yourself into this situation. You could get shot. And then people go, was it a good killing or was it a bad killing? And then they go, oh, that was a bad killing. He shouldn't have been shot. It's like, oh, okay, I'll reanimate his corpse and explain to him that the joke's on the cops. Like, you're still dead. So I would suggest not getting involved. And also, do not underestimate 28-year-old dudes with guns and you calling them Nazis and pigs and spitting on them for 5 hours. Do not underestimate their ability to reach for that gun at some point. It will happen. And then everyone will go, oh, so it's okay? No, it's not okay. It's going to happen. It has to happen. If you go, here's the combination. Here's the stew that I'm cooking. Lots of dudes with guns getting called horrible, horrible things for hours on end. Sometimes bottles thrown at them or snowballs or pushed or spat upon or something, but they got the guns. Hours of that, then mixed with throngs of people, either in cars driving toward them or pushing toward them, or general confusion lots of times. That is going to translate into X amount of citizens getting shot per year. If you just said, this is something we're going to do 24/7 all year long, you'd go, okay, at the end of the year, there's going to be like 26 people shot. And then you go, is that right? It's like, no, it's not right. Those guys have guns. You antagonize them for long periods of time. Scuffles break out. And then as they say, shit happens. That's how this works. And it's going to work. And by the way, it'll keep going in different iterations. You know what I mean? It'll be a woman in a van blocking somebody. It'll be a guy out in the street. They'll be shoving and pepper spraying. There'll be all different versions of people getting shot, but it will translate into people getting shot.
Absolutely.
Like if my kid was like, I'm going to go out and antagonize ICE officers, I'd be like, can't you just get on that nice Honda 125? I just watch you do a few hot laps around town.
Teach you how to do a wheelie.
Couple of 12 o'clockers. Just pull up next to a cruiser and kick the door real hard and just take off. He can't chase you.
Yeah, I've seen Bad News Bears. Kelly Leak was all through that ball field. It's fine. Yeah. Yep. I don't know if we have the video up. I don't know if you wanted to watch it at all.
I've seen it a million times. It's a bad shooting.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a bad shooting in a... Here's what I want to say to everyone. You are relying on these people to do something that's not within human capabilities, which is see red, adrenaline dump, scuffle, pepper spray, have no idea who's armed and who's not armed, and not have anybody's gun go off prematurely. That's what you're asking.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. But not as long as human beings are carrying the gun. So you will get shot. You can go, well, that's not right. Well, I agree it's not right.
Absolutely.
But stay home.
Yeah.
Stay home will be the answer. And then if you stay home, by the way, then they can just do their fucking job, and that'll be that, like they do in many other municipalities. But you guys won't do that. And then you make these arguments. Here's my thing about all these fuckwads. And I don't like all these guys because they're not getting anything accomplished, and ICE is there to remove people. Let them do their fucking job. And then here's your argument. There's two arguments. One is ICE says 70% of these people have, violent criminal histories or whatever. And then the argument is 70% of these people don't have any criminal history. All right. And then, by the way, that means 30% of them have a violent criminal history. Could be rape, could be murder, could be any pedophilia, whatever it is. So I'm fine with the ratio. Here's what you're basically saying to me. Take 70% of the people who are here illegally because they're not supposed to be here illegally anyway. That's just the law. So they're here illegal. That's 70%. And then 30% are actual felons who have actually involved themselves with crime and God knows what. Human trafficking, who knows? Rape, who knows? That's a fine ratio for me. Now, you want to flip it and you go 70% violent crime and 30% just here illegally? That's fine too. They're all here illegally, idiots. And then it's worth it to get rid of 70%, and I'm using their numbers, which I'm sure is a lie, but it is worth getting rid of 70% of people who are here illegally to get 30, which turns out to be a large group of people if you're getting into the millions, of rapists and child abusers and murders. I'm fine with that. So I'll use your math. The other math that you assholes like to use is, which is another lie, but it's fine. We'll use it. They go, well, American-born citizens, people here, kill at a higher rate than the illegals who are here. You understand that? Which is a lie, but fine. I'll go along with you. So your argument is however many of these chicks got raped or killed by illegals, that's okay because a higher percentage of white folks, or maybe a white guy would have killed them later in the week. I guess that's your argument. I don't want anybody. It should be zero. This is this argument. It's a retarded argument where they go, well, these guys come in and most of them don't murder anybody. And then you guys who are born here, you murder more. All right, but there's still some amount of murder that you're just agreeing on there's some amount of murder. So the white guys kill 100 of our daughters, and then the guys who are here illegally only kill 37 of our daughters. Is that your argument? How about my argument? They shouldn't be here. Then we just have 100 dead from Whitey. Mm-hmm. Fucking retards. Shut the fuck up with your retarded arguments. They're not supposed to be here. Go the fuck home. You're not doing anything, and you're getting people killed. And so is Waltz, and so is, what's his name, Jacob Fry. You're inciting all this stuff. Try it. All right, let's do an experiment. Everyone stay home for 5 days, and let's see if there's anybody shot.
Yeah,
Can we do that?
Let me ask you about this. I've been thinking a lot about it the last couple of days, especially being from Minnesota. And what if, because I grew up at a time when we thought that there was supposed to be some shame, and it worked a little bit, and my dad was named the #1 biggest ower of child support in the state of Minnesota. And the state of Minnesota...
And they said he wouldn't amount to anything.
Yeah, right. I mean, obviously on top of the winners list.
Now, wait, was that all the way back in high school? Like, I got class clown, there's more likely to succeed.
Yeah.
He got that designation in high school.
They put him in the yearbook, yeah. I mean, there was another woman that was with him. It was a boy-girl thing, it was like best dressed, nicest eyes, and then owes most child support. Yes, obviously. But they put out a list to sort of shame deadbeat dads into pain. And there was a lot of states that wouldn't do it because they thought there was some sort of anonymity disclosure and it was against people's civil rights. You're not supposed to release their name as the government. Okay, well, at this point, obviously, ICE is not going anywhere. So let's start to maybe put a plan into place in Minneapolis where they have a list of all the people that they're looking for. Why don't we put out a list of names? Because what happened was, instead of it shaming guys into paying child support, a lot of them, much like my dad, got out of the state. They just split. And then I grew up without a dad for the first 14 years of my life. And it sort of triggered a lot of people leaving. Why not just put out a list of all the people that they're looking for and go, if you know any of these people, there's a reward, let us know. If you know these people, hand them in. Or if not, if you know that we're coming for them and we see you, you see us with that person, let us do our job. At least it's a plan to start to move things in the right direction. Because right now, it just feels like it's the goddamn Wild West.
I agree. But the municipal police department and Fry and the mayor and the governor need to fucking do something because they're getting people killed. The blood is on their hands. They like to pretend it's on ICE. It's not. It's on them because they're letting this chaos and they're perpetuating it. And they're calling everyone a Nazi. And by the way, if you believe it, then you should be protesting. All right. Larchmont Village prostitute story. That is one.
Talk
I'm
about this
interested
one?
in.
Sure,
Yes.
yeah. So with much of the Los Angeles Police Department understaffed, Vice units focused on the illegal sex trades in the infamous Figueroa Street corridor. Residents in the picturesque community of Larchmont Village say much of that business had spilled into their neighborhood.
Yeah, spilled is the operative
A
word.
family-friendly community now becoming a living nightmare. Residents in Larchmont Village say it's all because of rampant prostitution. They say the obscene behavior often takes place just a few feet from their homes.
And they say it is getting worse despite their pleas to police for help. KTLA's Rachel Menitoff is live from Larchmont Village with the story.
Great
Rachel.
assignment.
Share, Rick, people tell us that oftentimes
Hold on
an
a
entire
second.
block.
There has to be some discussion in the newsroom. Like, all right, we need someone to go out to SeaWorld because a new dolphin was born, and the dolphin is named Cubby, and we're going to do a fluff piece on Cubby. It's beautiful. We're going to win. And then someone has to go out to Larchmont and stand in jizz. Now, who's... Sheila, I saw your hand go up first.
Wait, whale jizz? No.
No.
Human jizz.
Tammy, better start hitting it. San Diego's going to be at least 3 hours with traffic. So why don't you chop up the van right now? Anyway, Tammy, I'll tell you what. I got a couple spent condoms in the bathroom I found. Why don't you bring those with you in case we need to get a cutaway or something like that, all right? We'll do it at night, too. Here we go.
Share, Rick, people tell us that oftentimes an entire block will be filled with parked cars where people are engaging in sex, and then they'll throw out their trash and used items onto the street.
items.
This has actually been happening for many years, but lately it seems to be escalating.
By the way, can I pause it there? If you have to pick up a used item with a ballpoint pen, that's bad.
Yeah.
That's a bad item.
Yeah.
Because you don't pick up a Coke can with a ballpoint pen.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
That's Blues Brothers.
Yeah,
One prophylactic,
that's
one
right.
used.
That's right.
During the day, this Larchmont neighborhood is picturesque. Longtime homeowners say it's when the sun goes down that things become sketchy and the unwanted encounters begin.
They're taking advantage of a human need in a disgusting way.
Larry says he often wakes up to this. A woman barely clothed walking across the street.
Man.
Used condoms, sanitary napkins, tissues, and all kinds of remnants from illegal sex trafficking and prostitution.
I have to come out in the morning and scoop up used condoms with semen coming out of them.
I like that
You
he
can't
can't.
imagine.
Oh, you got to rewind it and say
You
it.
have to do it every
I'm
day.
always,
It's really quite remarkable.
pause it. I'm always amazed at the people that have to give you the extra thing. You know what I mean?
Oh, they give you a
it's
little too much
weird-
info?
Yeah, it's a weird thing. Like they'll go like, I went in to visit Nana and she was out of her mind and she's in dementia and she's in nothing but a gown. And so I was trying to soothe her, but her vagina was out.
Yeah,
You know, and you're like,
yeah,
come on, just say
yeah.
you visited your grandma. You just visited your grandma. We'll do the dementia gown math.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'll keep Nana's vagina in my head. I don't need you saying it.
This guy says he had to pick up the used condom. So we've done the math.
Yeah.
We've done the math. We know there wasn't pixie dust or Nutella coming
Yeah.
out of there. We know what's in the condom, but he had to add it.
The king and prostitution.
I have to come out in the morning and scoop up used condoms with
Scoop.
semen coming out of them. You can't imagine how disgusting it is. And to be able to have to do it every day, it's really quite remarkable.
Occasionally,
Hold on,
sometimes
let me put down my McFlurry or whatever. I got a vanilla shake. Let me just set that down. All right, keep it going.
To
Sorry.
do it every day, it's really quite remarkable.
occasionally, sometimes it's violent. The sex workers and Johns are getting in fights with each other. They're screaming at each other. They're getting physical with each other.
Other nearby neighborhoods impacted are St. Andrews Square, Windsor Square, and Koreatown. Karen Gilman says police advise them not to intervene. So instead, they've put up these signs letting the Johns and the pimps know they're on camera, and neighbors are recording their
All right,
license.
pause it there. Okay, here's the thing. If you're not going to force anything, then who cares how much camera time you get?
Yeah,
You know what I
what's the
mean? Like if
difference?
someone said, here's a bank. Yeah, you can't rob it. You might get shot. All right, there's another bank. It's filled with cameras. Oh, okay. But they're never going to do anything. I'd go, well, then are the cameras going to stop me
Mm-hmm.
from robbing the bank? No. Well, then I'll just rob the bank with the cameras
Yeah,
in it.
it's different.
I don't care if I'm being filmed. Nobody in LA cares. No criminals care if they're being filmed because they never enforce anything, so it doesn't matter. We did this in the wrong-headed department, in the every single thing a leftist or progressive, every idea they have is wrong and ends up wrong department. This is one more of why are we criminalizing? This is a sex working community. This impacts women of color. And it's like, all right, more jizz on the sidewalk, everybody. Come on down. It's awesome. You guys should know, Nithya Raman, the dumb shit city council member who, by the way, was mad at Toyota for making catalytic converters so easy to steal on their car. That dumb shit, who was also responsible for tearing down the guy's treehouse in Sherman Oaks simultaneously while the Palisades in Malibu were burned to the ground. There's no permits. She's tearing down a treehouse. I mean, her constituency. They had a big celebration like a year ago because they got a no U-turn sign taken down on Hyperion in Silver Lake where there was all gay cruising going on. And the neighbors were tired of all the gay guys cruising up and down and giving blowjobs in a shrub in front of their house. So at some point in like 1985, they put a sign up that said no U-turn, meaning you can't just have a never-ending succession of cars cruising in front of my house looking for gay hookups. She took the sign down with a bunch of he-she's and drag queens 9 months ago and looked at that as a huge victory for the citizens of Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. That's where their head is at. So you guys create all this stuff, and then it comes home to roost, and then the dumb shits in the neighborhood who voted for you come out and they go, I don't know what's going on here. There's people out on my front yard having sex. There's condoms everywhere, feminine napkins. We've called the city council. Yes, because we created this.
Yeah.
We filled our city with rats. We stopped enforcing everything, and now we have this. Mm-hmm. Where's Nithya? She's a poster child. She went to Harvard, this one.
Also, I think Jizz on the Sidewalk is a John Cougar Mellencamp
It is.
line. Yeah. Blood on the scarecrow, jizz on the sidewalk. Yeah.
So we'll find Nithya. But either way, this is their idea of what they're in office for, to go with drag queens down to Hyperion Boulevard and take down a U-turn sign. By the way, in a city that has more traffic signs about not turning right on red or no U-turns or no merge or whatever, all we are is one big traffic sign. She's interested in that traffic sign. Yeah, because they're dumb. But this is what we have.
There it is. Yeah,
it's the greatest. This is I don't know, is this a year old? This is the greatest piece of footage ever. And I like the idea that they celebrate this.
Martinez and Nithya Raman were on hand today to help remove the signs. They say the no cruising and no U-turn signs were put up in the 1990s to prevent people in the gay community from meeting up with other gay people.
Yes, on people's lawns.
Yes, in their yards.
That's why they were put. You caught us. We don't want people boffing on our lawn. Okay, where I raised my kids.
Yeah.
Yes, that's why they were up. But you can keep the story going because it's great.
I was also surprised that these U-turn signs were still up. And at first, they seem a little, okay, it's just a no U-turn sign. But when you learn the history of it and you realize that these were used to profile gay people, it's so important that we have these removed.
Well, it's not like you're a straight guy and you make a U-turn there, and then the cops pull you over, and you go, "Oh no, I'm into vag." That's my thing, and they go, "Oh, you know what? No ticket for you then. Sorry about that." No, it's for everybody.
They have no U-turn signs all over.
Yes.
No, the people who live in that neighborhood, what they did is they got to their city council people in 1989. And they lobbied to get the signs put up because they said, we're tired of these gay guys driving around in a circle in front of our house at 2 a.m. after they leave Cuffs, the bar in Silver Lake. Mm-hmm. So they put the signs up. But their number one job, by the way, Nithya Raman looks at her job as taking down tree houses and taking down signs, not permits, rebuilding, motorcycle gangs, graffiti, None of that.
Yeah.
This is her job.
Yeah, and they're not thinking about 2 years from now when somebody makes an illegal U-turn because there is no sign. They don't see it. They make that U-turn and somebody slams into the side of them, and now we got a couple of dead girls on our hand. They never think about that down the road. They're just thinking about the optics of it. Look at us and the thumbs up that we get for the LGBTQ community.
I'll play you the rest of this. It's great. That's by the middle of the week. What are you doing today?
Park Boulevard, right on the side of District 13, and today we removed
Hugo Soto Martinez, hyphenated Spanish name, always retarded.
That were used to discriminate against the LGBT community, and so we removed the last remnants of that terrible policy, and so it's a very joyful and exciting day.
That's a big day. Big day. I live in Los Angeles, where you don't realize how much this has impacted my life.
They were a relic of the 90s anti-gay policies in Los Angeles.
It's not anti-gay.
There were signs that explicitly said no cruising, which had been removed years ago.
Yeah, no cruising.
During the 1990s, it was very
There's
much
no cruising anywhere.
Area where a lot of the LGBT community had no other option but to meet each other in the streets. So this.
All right, you're gonna pause it. Listen, there's no other option if you're gay but to screw on people's lawns. Don't you have an apartment with a pull-out sofa or futon?
They have hourly rates at hotels. I mean, come on.
There was no other option. We just had to have sex against someone's shrub. There's no, of course. You're being a little amorous.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Yeah, you got to hit the lawn.
We saw an old sofa on the way here, and I told my girlfriend, we must stop and fuck on this sofa outside of this person's house because it's there. We have no other choice. We can't go back to my apartment in Las Vegas.
No.
We must do it here on the streets of Los Angeles.
Yes. What other choices? There's nothing else they could do. All right.
And had asked them what we
by the way, I love that this guy reached out to the city. I love it when these raison d'etre of these idiots. It's like, I'm going to get a sign taken down. That's it. Yeah, such a hero. Such a hero.
That's all they're proposing, get a sign taken down.
Jesus, man. His dad's sitting home in Indiana and he sees this.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, oh, Jesus Christ, I told you.
Yep. I blame your side of the family, Maureen.
Yeah, that's right. All right, throw the clock up, please, Andrew. I just want to say this. Bigger picture. I want people to get this picture. All the fakakta ideas. I was explaining this to Dr. Drew, but I like this analogy. All the bad ideas that come out of the left, all of them. We're going to decriminalize prostitution because it disproportionately affects the brown and black community, and these are sex working men. And now you just got condoms everywhere and chicks being used. And I don't know, really junky chicks being turned out by Johns and used for sex. That's it. That's the direction you want to go. Mm-hmm. These people need help. But every one of their defund the police. Okay. Open the border. Okay. They are all of their ideas, let's start teaching English and Spanish in schools. Okay, the kids don't learn English, and then they get held back their entire life. Let them learn English starting at age 5. By the time they're 9, they'll be fluent, and that'll be that. But you want to teach them in Spanish, which means they'll be held back their entire life. But here's the example I'm saying, whether it's, defund the police and then more crime, but take like English versus Spanish. In Los Angeles, like if you said English is the language, that's what we're going to teach them in. They'll immerse in it. They're fine. They'll catch on fast. Maybe it'll be tough in kindergarten and first grade, but they'll catch on fast and it'll be what's best for them. They would argue and they would call you racist and xenophobic. Every one of their horrible leftist ideas all eventually gets torn down. Like everything with COVID. Everything with COVID you guys got wrong. You got masks wrong. You got dissing wrong. Ivermectin. Everything. Vaccines. You got everything wrong, but you're right in the moment. And then we do this. So every one of your horrible ideas is like gravity. So gravity is like the truth. Eventually, common sense and the truth catch up. But their ideas are sort of like this. And this was my analogy. If I hold this pen out and I drop it, it's immediately captured by gravity. And you go, okay, well, that's not going to work. Their ideas are affected by gravity, but down the road. So it's like I hold the pen out and I let go and it floats there. And I go, see? And then down the road, the kid who got Spanish instead of English is working a shitty dead-end job because he's being held back because he doesn't know the language of the land that he lives in. But it's down the road. The border shit, the defund the police, all things COVID, decriminalize prostitution, clean injection zones, judgment-free zones where they'll get syringes. Okay. It sits for a second and everyone applauds. Let's get rid of the U-turn sign. Let's do that. And it sits there and they go, see? Not so bad, right? And then the fucking chickens come home to roost. That's all your horrible ideas. So let's just see if we can understand that in advance so we don't have to then mop up after your bad ideas. The whole reason everyone's getting shot everywhere in your own Minnesota is because of the bad deals of the open border. You left the border open. Millions of people came in, and now we need to get them out. That's on you. That's not on ICE. That's on your fucking horrible Biden administration. You guys did this. And now we have to clean up your mess, and people are getting shot because they're going to get shot because it has to go that way because you can't take thousands and hundreds of thousands of armed guys, push them up against crazy bitches and minivans and expect this not to happen. It's going to happen. How come it's happening? Because you guys left the fucking border open. You did it. Okay? And don't give me that shit where like, I didn't want. He brought materials to build a border wall and you sold them off for scrap. So don't tell me this isn't part of your plan. All right. Rudy Pavich. Great job. Go to Carolla.com for all live shows. Shows coming up Thursday, New York City at Rodney's, and also in Kennedy Center. You can go there as well. That'll be Saturday. Rudy?
Yeah, buddy.
Where should we go to find your dates?
You can go to rudypavichcomedy.com. I'm going to be in Cincinnati on Wednesday, Columbus, Ohio on Thursday, Toledo Friday, Saturday, and then that entire Florida run with you, Tampa, Orlando, and Naples. I'll be with you the first week of February.
Go to adamcarolla.com for all live dates. Till next time, Adam Carolla for Megan Kelly and Rudy Pavich saying, Mahala.